the screen. You know, tomorrow we celebrate this great pioneer. Amen. It's the only black person I know has his own holiday. Come on. Amen. That's the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Amen. So we're going to let him speak to us for a minute. Amen. So just listen.
I have the pleasure to present to you Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation. Five score years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand today signed the Emancipation Proclamation. This momentous decree came as a great beacon light of hope to millions of Negro slaves who had been seared in the flames of withering injustice. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their captivity. But 100 years later, the Negro still is not free. 100 years later, the life of the Negro is still sadly crippled by the manacles of segregation and the chains of discrimination. 100 years later, the Negro lives on a lonely island of poverty. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day, down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, 'tis of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when the capital, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free.
Hallelujah. Come on, push on somebody. Tell them, I'm free in Jesus. Come on, because whosoever the Son set free is free indeed. Come on, tap somebody else and tell them, I'm free. Yes, sir. I'm free. Glory to God. Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. Do you have a dream tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Amen. Glory to God. We're going to dive into this thing tonight. If you have your Bibles or your iPads, your phone, amen, go with me quickly to Luke chapter 13. Luke 13. I'm going to teach a little bit tonight. Is that all right?
All right.
Luke 13, verse number 6. If you have it, say, I got it. If you don't, say, hold up, Pastor. All right. Matthew, Mark, Luke. Amen. All right. And it reads, verse number 6, a man had a fig tree in his grape field.
Yeah.
He looked for the fruit on it, but found none.
Come on.
He said to his servant, see, for 3 years I've been coming here looking for fruit on this fig tree, and I never find any. He says, cut it down. Why does it even waste the ground? The servant said, sir, leave it here 1 more year. I will dig around it and put plant food on it. It may be that it will give fruit next year. If it does not, cut it down. I want to speak from a subject tonight, dig in my mess. Dig in my mess. Charles L. Allen once quoted, when you say a situation or a person is hopeless, you are slamming the door in the face of God. I want to speak about 3 points on this subject tonight. Amen. My first point I want to bring out of this text is a very familiar passage of scripture, but we want to dig into this thing tonight so we can get a clear picture of what Jesus is saying, because often he would speak in parables. Parables was a true short story according to the culture that he was living in, to make a better understanding of what he was trying to get across to the people. Amen. So the first point I want to bring out tonight is disappointing expectation. Disappointing expectation. Are there any people in here that's ever had expectations about something or someone but ended up disappointed? I'm talking this side over here. This side still gonna get with me. I'm talking about you ever hope and expected in something or somebody, and you was excited about it. You know, when you first meet that man and you first meet that one, you talk to your girl and say, girl, I think this is the one. And all of a sudden, 6 months later, disappointing expectation. Now, here's a man in the text who has put seed in the ground. Right? Because in order for a tree to get there, he had to first plant a seed. So he puts the seed in the ground. You don't put seed in the ground unless you are expecting a return. So he moves and puts seeds in the ground. Watch this. He spends 3 years making sure it's watered, it's pruned, and it's gotten what it needs to grow and produce. So he's doing this with a spirit of expectation. Y'all with me? Watch this. The normal time for a fig tree to produce fruits is 2 years. Now he's going to this tree 3 years. And watch this. Have you ever invested time, sweat, and tears? Watch this. Into something for it not to yield any type of return. He said, I've been going to this tree 3 years looking for fruit. You know how when you go to somewhere you're looking for a certain item, or you go to class, you want a butter roll, and when you get there, your mouth is ready for a butter roll, and she said, we all out. God help me, God. Disappointing expectation. Come on, talk back with me tonight, y'all. Watch this. Watch this. You stayed up many nights studying for the degree. Watch this. Watch this. You've lost sleep, and you've had to push your children to the side because you're after something. And you finally got the degree. You done had the degree 3 years, and people still don't want to pay you what you worth. All the time that I done put in, the sleepless night going, oh God, work I couldn't hardly do. I had to call my friend and tell them do this homework for my pay you for it. You get the degree and you know you're worth what you're worth because you put the sweat and tears in it, but you still go to the job interview. They talking about $9.95. No, child, I worked too hard for this. I'm looking for $15 or better. Amen. As hard as you work on the job, and at the end of the week, after taxes, you look at the check. God help me, Holy Ghost. Still disappointed. Amen. Disappointing expectation is what I'm talking about right now. Watch this. If you've ever spent any amount of time, watch this, money, or giving of yourself into anything, you want it to reciprocate back to you or return. You know, you got folks in here that'll be deep and say, I'm just doing it, I don't want nothing back, but all this ain't, I wish I had the right church. If I'm giving something, I want something back. Because Luke 6:38 says, give and it shall be given unto you. Somebody look at somebody and tell them, I want something back. Oh, come on. If I say I loan you the money, I'm looking for it back. Now, if I give it to you, that's another thing. Come on, talk to me. Somebody, anybody in here don't want nothing back? I want something back. If I work 40 hours, I want a 40-hour check. I want something back. Watch this. It's frustrating. Watch this. When you're toiling and laboring and expecting something, but getting nothing in return. So this man said, I've gone to this tree 3 years. I want y'all to listen to the frustration in verse number 7. 3 years. Expecting fruit.
Amen. Amen.
He said, and I don't get nothing every year. Watch this. Listen at the frustration. He said, I've been coming here 3 years expecting fruit and getting nothing. So he said, cut it down.
Amen.
Look at the frustration. Yes. This is the part of the text where you throw your hands up. And the next point I want to bring out is, I give up.
My Lord.
This is where this man is. He has given up from expecting fruit from this tree. Anybody ever gave up in here? Okay, Lord, okay. All right. I got a funny act in church tonight. Oh, God, ever gave up? Watch this. Gave up on your children. All you've invested and taught these knuckleheads, and you still grow up like you ain't been raised. Acting the way you acting. Come on. I know you're saving in here, but you done gave up on some of these children. Sometimes you gotta give up. Not to the point that you don't love them, but you got to turn them over to God. There's some parents in here that can say, I've done all. After you've done all you can do, you got to pray about that thing and let God do what He's going to do. You know, whoop them, you know, took their car, you know, took their allowance, you know, did all you know to do. You losing sleep, you never stop eating, you know, call friends about, I don't know what I'm going to do with this child. Don't throw your hands up. This is where the man is. He said, cut it down. Tired of expecting this kind of fruit. Some of you done gave up on marriage. You've been saying, I know this marriage don't supposed to be like this. Y'all sleeping in separate rooms, walking by each other, not talking. I ain't talking about nobody. You've never been married, but you know it don't supposed to be like. You gave your heart to different people, and you always leave with the short end of the stick and disappointed. God help me. Some of y'all that just hold your hand up on love, but somebody said, cut it down. Frustrated, tired of giving my time and crying about Negroes who don't appreciate. You don't know who you got. I was trying to keep myself from marriage, and I messed around and you still don't appreciate that. I just want to talk to a real church in here tonight, and you got the audacity to look at me like I ain't worth nothing. You gonna mishandle my heart and walk all over me like I ain't nobody. Some of you said, boy, you got here, cut it down. I'm tired of Negroes. I'm gonna find me a white girl. I'm gonna find me a Caucasian man. I'm going to Africa. Somebody in the place right now where you got your hands up. Oh God, my expectation was high. I'm running to Bozo again. Somebody say, cut it down. Cut it down. I'll talk to a real church tonight. Tired of repeating the same cycle, going to this tree every year, and I ain't getting nothing. I'm cooking for you. I'm cleaning your nasty clothes, and you can't. Cut it down. Come on now. Say, I done gave up. Throw my hands up. Some of you done gave up on ministry. You're tired of pouring in the ungrateful Negroes who don't appreciate nothing. Every time you're going out of your way, taking them on job interviews, paying their rent, paying light bill, encouraging them, and just them jokers still leaving. Oh, God. Ungrateful, unappreciative. They say you don't miss a good thing, too. Ain't it amazing when people would try to start Oh God, after you done, they wanted to, baby, I love you. I want you to give me one more chance. They cried, but where were you when I was doing all that crying? 3:30 in the morning. Now you want to get yourself together. Come on, they used to sing a song when a woman fed up. That's true for men too. When we tired, we tired. I thought I'd have some men in here that would back me up right now. Because when we put our wall up, we tired. They ain't up on love. You're tired of, watch this, trusting people with your heart just for them to mishandle you. You told them from the beginning you were fragile because of the last situation you came out of. So you had a wall up and you were telling, if I trust you now, you got my trust. If I'm with you, I'm with you. All of a sudden this thing go left and put everything out there on the table and folks still don't appreciate.
Amen. That's good. That's good.
Come on now.
What's this? What's this? You told them from the jump. It's hard for you to trust again. They still took you for granted. This man says, since it ain't producing nothing, cut it down. Watch this. Listen to what he said. He said, it's wasting the ground. It's wasting the ground. Taking up space. You ever had anybody in your life where you felt like you were wasting your time? Wasting the ground. Cut it down.
Come on.
What's this? It's wasting the ground. He said, cut it down.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
When you get to a place where you feel as if you're wasting time. This is when you get frustrated. This is when you get agitated because you know you're supposed to be experiencing something different than what you experience. I got my hopes up thinking you the wife, thinking you the husband, thinking you the right one I need to put in ministry. All of a God, I hate to have to start all over. What's this? When you get to this place, here's what happens. You stop investing time. When he said cut it down, don't water it no more. Don't prune it no more. Don't waste no more time. You stop investing time. Watch this. You stop investing money and you stop sweating about it. Watch this. When people are still fussing back and forth, you still got a chance. And when we stop talking, because if you still fussing, going back and forth with them, there's still a chance. Because watch this, you're still releasing and you're giving off equity, energy, tears. Come on, y'all still fussing? Y'all, that's still a chance. When they call and you stop talking, they fussing and you talking about, When you ain't going back and forth with them no more, that's the time when you done cut it off. If they still talking, there's still an opportunity. And when they be quiet, you ever talk to somebody and they say, why you ain't saying that? Because you wouldn't hear me when I kept on talking. When I was shedding these tears, trying to show you how to treat me, now I ain't got nothing to say. So I'm not finna waste any more time. Watch this, I ain't investing no more money. And I've been crying my last tear yesterday. Tell somebody, tell them, stop crying. Stop crying. Cut it down, cut it down. Cut it down. Somebody shout, cut it down. Cut it down. an expectation. We got I give up. Watch this. I want y'all to see something. Out of the blue, the servant says in verse number 8, he says, "Sir." He said, "Leave it alone." See, that's some situation you got to leave alone. Help me. Cause you keep on fussing, you keep on trying to fix it. But he said, "Sir, leave it alone." Tell somebody, say, "Leave it alone." Watch this. He says, watch this, y'all. And here's where we're going to shout. He says, "Give it one more year." Watch this. Disappointment is good despite the way it may feel. Watch this. Giving up ain't so bad. There's time you need to give up on something. This is when, watch this, when you give up, you take your hands off. God help me.
Come on.
Anybody ever tried to fix it and what you were doing was making it work? He said, "Leave it alone." God help me. Holy Ghost. Watch this. Oh God, why y'all so quiet? I know. He said, "Sir, leave it alone and give it one more year." This next point I want to bring out, and we're going home, I want to talk about mercy. I want y'all to see it in the text. Watch this. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. Watch this. The man said, "Cut it down." That's judgment. Y'all with me? This is the punishment of what you're going to get because you're not producing. Y'all with me tonight? Amen. This is judgment. But watch this. Serve. This is the servant, the one who has been attending to the truth. He speaks up for the one who ain't worthy to receive mercy. Y'all gonna get with me in a minute. He said, "Serve. Don't kill him. Don't send him to hell." He said, "Give him one more year." I'm going to bring it home to you. Is there anybody in here that's been through some seasons where you know you were messing up and you know you don't deserve another chance, but somebody said, "Sir, give him one more year"? I thought I'd have a church and a fall out because all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. The wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. He said, "Sir, leave it alone. Give it one more year." Right, watch what he says. He said, "I'm going to dig in it."
Go ahead. Come on.
Watch it. He said, "Watch it. Leave it alone." He said, "Give it one more year." He said, "Let me dig in it and put some fertilizer in it." He said, "If it produces, it'll be good." He said, "If it don't, cut it down." God help me. Watch this. You know you wasn't producing nothing. You saved, but you ain't living up to who you say you profess and who you follow. So you're not producing anything. Watch this. We know what you are capable of producing. Because he says, watch this, "I know it's supposed to produce fruit, but I ain't receiving no fruit."
All right.
Oh God. Watch this. But every year, you're producing the same behavior. You keep getting chance after chance. Watch this. Matthew 7:19 says, "Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down," watch this, "and thrown into the fire." Oh God, we don't read those scriptures no more. Jesus, watch this. Is there anybody in here, watch this, that know you should have been cut down? Let me make it plain. The car accident should have killed you. Who you slept with, you should have got AIDS. You're supposed to be in jail right now. You're supposed to be cut down. But thanks be unto God. Yes, sir. I want church who would shout by mercy. I'm talking about you know you messed up and you were shot up, you were tore up from the floor up. But his mercy, watch this. Because we got cute folks. They don't want you to think they done did something, been through something. But if you like us, you knew, watch this, the sins that was on your life should have brought about death, because the wages of sin will pay you, and the payment for sin is death. Watch this, that's judgment. But somebody said, "Sir, leave them alone." I want to preach to 15 of y'all. What was supposed to hit your life, Jesus stepped in front of it and said, leave it alone. Is there anybody in here that's thankful for the mercy? I want you to throw your hands up and throw your head back and say, thank you, God, for the mercy of Jesus. Yes, sir, I should have been dead, sleeping in my grave, but the mercy of God gave me another chance. What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Wait. He says, sir, leave it alone. Give me one more year. Watch this. Here's what I want you to see. He said, I'm going to dig in it. Watch this. This digging is, he's going to dig in your mess. And he's going to pull the stuff out of your life that's been causing you not to produce fruit. God, help me, Holy Ghost. Mercy is not a gift for you to keep on dropping it like it's hot. Mercy is a period of time for him to dig in your, somebody said, dig in my bed. Created me a clean heart. Yes, sir. I'm almost feeling like preaching, y'all. Will you do me a favor? Shake somebody. I got the wrong church tonight. I said, shake somebody. Shake them and rock. Rock them and shake them. And the neighbor, if you only knew what God brought me out of, you are shout funny. Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout right now. You're dead. Sleeping in your grave. But goodness and mercy. He gives him, watch this, a period of time. Watch this, for him to dig into his life. Come on. Watch this, because you got to remove weeds. You got to remove stuff that'll choke your growth. Watch this. Then he says, I'm going to put some fertilizer on it. You need word in your life to cause you to produce the right kind of fruit that you've been producing. You done left one church, now you at another church. You got the same old nasty, low down, mean attitude. Somebody said, dig in me, God. Watch this. Mercy. He gives him mercy. That's something, watch this, you don't deserve, but he gives it anyway. Watch this, we've been experiencing a lot of deaths in America. And it hit home, it hit close. It's our cousins and our friends, people we went to school with, and it's hitting home. But watch this. Why wasn't it you? You were doing the same thing they were doing. So why God allowed for you to still be here? I wish I had everybody on their feet and shout mercy. He extends mercy. He said, give it one more year. The Bible says we have a mediator. A man that stands between us and God, the Father. And that man is Jesus Christ. The Bible says he forever makes intercession. You know, when you ask somebody to pray for you, they might forget. But you got somebody always praying to the Father for you. Because watch this. The punishment from the Father for sin is supposed to be death. But every time you mess up, you got Jesus running to the Father saying, I died for them. I died for what they're doing. Give them some mercy. Forever making intercession for you. Mercy. He said, I'm going to dig in and I'm going to put some fertilizer in it. That's the stuff that causes it to produce the way it's supposed to produce.
Amen.
Now, when you begin to get dug into, that means He begins to reveal to you what's in you that don't supposed to be there. This thing is about you. We don't mind looking at everybody else and finding the fault in somebody else. But we need him to dig in. Dig in me. Somebody said, dig in me, God. Dig in me. And watch this. I'm so glad God is not like man. When he dig into your life and he pull out that lying tongue, he'll kill you. When he dig in you and he pull out that fornication, he still looks at you and he still loves you. When he dig in you and he sees some things in your life that's not pleasing to him, he still extends mercy. Because when I dig into your life, I want you to see what's in your life. And then you got to take this fertilizer, which is the word of God, that will help. It'll help the things that's been causing you not to produce. Somebody look at somebody and tell them, I want to produce. I want to produce because Matthew 7, it says, every tree that does not produce good fruit. Because you can produce fruit and it can be rotten.
My God.
It says every tree that don't produce good fruit is cut down and thrown to the fire. That's symbolic of hell.
That's right.
If any man is in Christ, he's a new creature. All things are passed away. Watch this. Behold, all things become new. That means over a period of time, your life will begin to change.
Amen. That's right.
You'll begin to produce good fruit.
That's right. That's it.
Don't let where you are stop you from continuing to go after God.
That's right.
He said, give it one more year. When watch this, when grace runs out, mercy leaves. God help me. When Jesus returns, he says, whoever is whatever he's doing or she's doing, whatever they are, they're going to stay the way that they are. It's going to be too late to try to fix it or get it right there. No man knows the day nor the hour. No man knows. Look at, just look around. Look at all that's happening. in the world. We're getting closer and closer.
Reality. Come on.
You can be here today and gone today.
That's right. That's right.
That's real.
I'm going to tell you all something. And I don't want this to scare you. Every person who has got shot and killed, I had an interaction with them before they died.
Glory. Glory.
I don't know their names. The guy who shot the other guy on the south side. We over there witnessing. He's there at Zach's house while we're witnessing. So we witnessed to him.
Yeah.
I want you to see how the hand of God are trying to pull you out of some stuff because God see what's down the road.
Come on. Yeah.
Guy who just got shot, fresh to barber. He got shot and killed Friday night, morning to Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I see him at Zaxby's Thursday.
Glory. Glory.
I want y'all to hear me. We've been talking about evangelizing. Make me a witness.
Yeah.
God will put you in the path of people.
Yeah.
Here's what he said, Pastor Boy, I got to get into your church.
Glory.
The Bible says once you heard the word of the Lord, harden not your heart. Christ died for us. Christ died for us. I'm talking about everybody in this room tonight.
Amen.
Whatever you've done, he died for it. If you've never made him Lord of your life, I'm not asking you, are you a part of a church? Have you been baptized? If you've never made him Lord of your life, meaning you're not saved, I want you to come to this altar.